With the release of Season 1.5 came our newest tank, The Thing. And honestly, he's my new favorite tank to play, as he's a really good frontline pressure tank, a backline menace, and a really good anti-dive peel tank. So today, I wanted to give you all the ins and outs on how to play The Thing, so you can best utilize him in your ranked games. But before we get into all that, I want to ask y'all to like and subscribe on this video, as it does help me out a lot. I have a like goal of hitting about 1,000 by the end of the year, so if we can hit that goal, I'd be really appreciative. And with that all being said, let's get right into the video. Alright guys, I'm going to show y'all the best settings for Thing. The best thing you want to do, obviously, as everyone is telling you guys, you want to go down, you want to go to hold to dash, and you want to turn that on. What that does is it allows you to just hit shift, you immediately do a ground slam, which does two things. You get the first initial hit when you're running into someone, that first initial charge hit, and then you also do the slam damage. So you're doing two instances of damage in a very quick duration. But also, along with that, honestly, I would go down to your primary and your secondary, and I would swap them. I would put your haymaker on your left click and your normal jab on your right click. What this does is it makes it just easier, because you just hold down left click and you spam your right and you spam your haymakers. Because this haymaker is really all you want to do. You never really want to do your normal jabs unless you're doing something like this. You get the Luna to 1 HP and you don't want to charge up another one. You just hit it with a quick right hand. So let's say I have this Luna in front of me once, twice, right? But she's low. That one doesn't get her low enough. Hit her with a quick jab. In motion, that looks like this. So let's say she's center team. 1, hit her 2. And then you quickly hit her with another one instead of having to wait for another full charge. Again, you never really want to do your normal jab unless you're doing it to quickly finish off a low enemy target. Because honestly, this haymaker, you're doing the same amount of DPS. I think you're actually doing a little bit more. You're doing about 90 DPS instead of your normal 80. But you're also gaining, you get, at the bottom there, you get 50 overhealth every time you use the ability. So if you're just spamming it, you never really lose, you never lose that HP. So you're walking around at 750 instead of just 700. Now this does make you a little bit slower because you have to do the wind up, and your windows of damage are a lot shorter because there's a larger attack window between attacks. But you're doing a lot more damage. You have a lot more survivability, and you're honestly a little bit more threatening, because a guy who's just walking around like this, not really doing a whole lot. But if you walk around slamming with your fucking haymakers, this is how you gain ultimate charge. Because as well as that, you're also doing pierce damage. So if you have like two, you have both the enemy tanks, or everyone's trying to go through a choke point, just like with Groot, if you just spam these out, you're getting your ult so fucking fast. And Thing has already one of the faster charging ultimates in this game at like 2,800 energy points, I'm pretty sure. So if you have a choke point, you have at least like 2 or 3 enemies just that you're constantly hitting with your primary, your haymaker at this point. This is how you're gonna build your ultimates. And your ultimate is really good, especially when you can hit it very early in a fight before the enemy supports even acknowledge that you have your ultimate, because then you can catch them off guard before they can pop yours. Because you also have to acknowledge that there was about a second and a half between me hitting Q and the ultimate coming out. So if you are able to build ultimate as fast as you can, catch the enemy supports off guard, and get like a couple of them in this ult, that is how you're gonna get a lot of value on the Thing. Secondly, with his charge, when you have it on the shift to the hold to dash, like that, you do 2 bits of damage. Again, you do 2 bits of damage. Let me see if I can. All right, no cooldowns. If I go up to this bot, I just did 2 bits of damage. I did the first hit and then the second fucking the dash hit. That did like a third of his health bar. Just like that. Just tapping shift did like a third of his health bar. That is so overpowered. It's such a good ability, especially when you're just holding the front line, when you're spamming your right clicks, you're just throwing these out. You can't really be touched, and if the enemy's like trying to approach you, like now they're in the air, it's so easy. This character is so easy. You just punch, shift, they're in the air, they can't really dodge, punch up again. And if they're still alive at that point, then you hit them with the final hit. I'll do it on this Luna here so you can kind of see what's going on here. There's so many like very easy combos hit. Charge, this, hit her again, right, and then into your what is now your right click if you change your keybinds. All you have to do is just walk up to people and be a fucking menacing threat. Oh, I just lagged in my fucking private game. That's awesome. Just walk up, haymaker, slam, haymaker again, normal jab. these combos are so simple to do, and they're very easy. They're very easy to hit in real games because not a lot of people understand how much damage this character does, especially when you can like combo all your abilities together. Because no one really thinks about hit him with this first one. The first one is going to be hard to hit sometimes because you like there is a good windup. Once you hit that first one, you hit them with the shift. They're knocked up. They can't really move, which then lines them up for another haymaker. When you have people in the air with your toss-up, you always want to go for a haymaker. You always want to go for a haymaker in any scenario, but you especially want to go for it when you have someone in the air because you can easily track them. And if they're strafing and they're going above you, like let's say this Luna is like trying to. There's like a Doctor Strange. I punch him, I slam him, right? He tries to go above me. I could just track him. And just follow him. Like if let's say Luna, if I have her in the air, I'm gonna kill her real quick. If I have her in the air and she's trying to strafe over me or she's getting pulled or whatever, I just strafe and I follow. I don't need to like follow exactly, but I can just, for me at this point I can just like listen and understand where my enemies are going. I don't need to like track them perfectly. But if you have troubles with that, you hit shift, watch the enemy go up, and then just look, watch them like charge it, and then where they go, you hit it. Because also this hitbox is fucking huge. Like, do we see how insane this hitbox is? Your normal jabs, you're not hitting nothing at this point. This Luna is dead. She's like not even anywhere near my hand, and she's getting killed there. You need to be spamming your haymaker as much as you can. This ability is so crazy. Pierce, you get your overhealth on it. You do like you're like throwing a bus. You're throwing a fucking bus every time you punch, and you can't block it. You can't do anything against it. Again, punch, slam, watch him in the air, stun lock him, punch again, hit him with the right click, and that's 275. If we get a hero, let's see. Let me put a hero here. Who's like 300 health? Isn't Punisher 300 health? I don't know. So I got Punisher here. Still, combo still works on him. Right click or haymaker into slam into haymaker again into your primary. Insta kills right that. Who's got a little more health? Let's see. I'll do it on an enemy thing. Because enemy things, when you're playing the mirror, this is so important. You want to put your shift down second. You always want to put your shift down second, depending on like what area of the map you're fighting in, and if you have another tank who you can jump to and play off of, you generally want to use your slow ability second. Because let's say the enemy thing is trying to make a play, he's moving in, right? We're both just slamming, we're both spamming our haymakers on each other, but he's moving a little bit like past the corner, and I know he doesn't have anyone he can jump to. Instantly slam. I do my little extra damage. I do my little tick damage from the slam, but he cannot jump away. He cannot run away. He has to commit as hard as he can, and his team has to commit to save him. Just hitting a shift on anybody is so important in this game because it makes the enemy have to make a decision. They either have to hard commit into that fight to save whoever you have slammed, or that person needs to just back up as much as they can. You're putting a statement to the enemy. You're saying, this is my area and I have your teammate trapped in this, and you have a decision to make. Either you save him or you don't. And a lot of the time, people aren't going to want to save the enemy tank, so you just keep walking on this. Like this circle basically means, fuck you, I have this space now. So if the enemy tank, he's trying to back up, I just keep walking. I keep walking on him because he's having to give me space just because I've hit shift. It's that insane. It's that powerful. Just hitting shift gives you so much like pressure because now he has to back up or my team shreds him. And if he tries to stay in and hits me with my own thing, I just calm to my team, guys, push in. I have thing in my shift. I shifted like enemy tank. I have shifted enemy support, whatever. I have them in my thing. My team will push in with me. So even if I get shifted back and then I can't do my thing, I back up, wait for my team to push in, and then re-engage with my E, and we just keep walking. It's so important to like just use it effectively, especially on corners when you're trying to like bait enemy tanks to get out of LOS of their supports. Now, along with his E, your E is so crazy as well. All of your abilities like do insane properties. They have insane properties to them, and I don't think a lot of people understand how good your E is. So when you hit E, you give yourself and your teammates like 30% damage reduction, and you also jump to them. This, people don't understand that both of these are insane things to do at the same time, and also happen like as soon as you hit the button. Because it doesn't even matter if your team, like if I jump to this bot, fuck. If I jump to this bot, I'm gonna let him come. This bot is gonna die, right? Let me see. When he dies, I'm gonna jump to him. I still get the damage reduction. It doesn't matter. It does not matter if the bot lives or not. I will get the damage reduction no matter what. If I'm like around a corner and I get stuck on like, if I get stuck right here, we both get damage reduction. I don't need to touch him. All I need to do is select him and confirm, and we will both get the damage reduction. I've had so many times where I'll try to E out to my teammate to not only escape but also to get the damage reduction, and I'll get caught on like geometry, like I'll just get caught, like let's say like right here. I'll get stuck here, but I'll still get the damage reduction and I can just walk out. Like it won't even matter. Now, again, as I was saying, when you E to someone, you just leap to them. It doesn't matter. You just leap to them. So what you can do is, let's say I'm fighting this thing, like I'm making space for my team. Oh, I'm doing this, and then I notice my health bar is getting a little low. You just flick. You just flick and you hit E. It's so free. I love doing this in my games because there's like literally no counterplay to it. You just go in, you do your charge, you get your damage, you're doing this, boop, boop, and then you instantly turn around and E out, and they can't stop you. I'm pretty sure you can't be stopped in this animation. And when you're in this animation, you can also freely move your camera so you can continue just walking in. So if I'm punching this guy, whatever, I'm doing my thing, I E out, I get my damage reduction, and I stay in. Now, you see me flicking, and that's very important as well, because once you flick over, you get it. But you can also, if you have your teammate tank, right? Let's say I have like a Magneto or a Thor or a Hulk, and we're like just doing frontline shit, and we're both getting low. I just like E to I'll E to him. Like let's say we're punching this guy, blah blah blah. We're punching him. I'll just E over, instantly give us the damage reduction for like 0 cost, because we're still here. I haven't moved, and now we just have damage reduction at like no negative drawbacks. It's so overpowered. And then as we're doing this, I slam in, instantly slam, and then now I've saved whoever is in this area. Thing is also very good at being an anti-dive, like just threat. Let's say this is my support, and there's a Black Panther just doing whatever like Black Panther things, right? And I'm over here, I'm not really caring, and I hear, hey guys, Black Panther in the back line, flick, come over, slam. Now my support, let's say like my Luna Snow has like whatever 30-40% damage reduction, and I've slammed the ground so the Black Panther can't escape. All I did was just turn around quickly, and now Black Panther can't play the game. It's that, you do it that fast, and it's that simple. There's very, very little mechanical like prowess you need on the thing to get so much value out of this character. Because now I've given myself damage reduction too, so I can stay in and fight this threat off. And even if these dive DPS are too fast for you and you're having a hard time tracking them, I have a hard time tracking them too, guys. You know what I do? I spam Haymaker. You know why? Because it's such a big fucking hitbox. And you just keep slamming. You like, he's over here, oh my god, I can't find him. And it doesn't matter because I'm throwing out these buses. I'm throwing out literal like trams at these guys, and they can't dodge it. Even if I'm missing like 2 or 3, I'll hit one eventually because it's just that it's that big of a hitbox. Now, lastly, when you have his ultimate, again, you want to spam this out as fast as you can early in the fight when you're like just spamming your right clicks to get the big punching cleave damage so you can get your ultimate. You always want to look for enemy supports. There's always going to be a time where you can just slam, get a support, and instantly kill them. When you have your ult, there's 2 ways to do it. You can either shoot it out dry and just work with that. But I find that very unreliable because the knock-up time isn't enough time for you to get a kill by yourself, especially if you get 2 people and they're not like directly next to each other. You're always going to like only maybe kill one and maybe not even get a kill if you didn't get both supports, because it is very easy to heal out of them because your damage is in bursts and not in like a sustained kind of way. So what I like to do is I'll go in, get the knock-up, hit him with this. So now they have the enemy that I've hit doesn't have a lot of time to not only react, but they can't strafe out of it because I've locked them in the air. it is very, very crucial that if you have a target that you want to prioritize and you want to eliminate immediately, you always want to knock them in the air so they just can't react. They can't strafe. They can't do anything. Because when you have them in the air as well, they can't escape. It's very, very crucial against Cloak and Daggers, against Invisible Woman, against like any dive hero, I guess. Any character that can just get out immediately to hit them with the slam first so they can't. There have been so many times where I'll see a Cloak and Dagger, I'll run into them, hit them with the dash, they'll go into cloak form, and they'll just, hey, what the hell? Hey, what the hell? And then I kill them because they don't even understand that I've hit them with the shift before I just completely annihilate them. Again, you run in, go in, hit them with the air, hit them with the shift, boom, and hit them with the melee. It's this very simple combo. It's very simple like stuff here. I'll have gameplay examples in the next part, but this is just all you want to do. Again, settings, hold to dash, and then honestly, this is just up to preference. Just change your primary and your secondary to your haymakers on your left click, just so you can. It just feels more comfortable for me to spam left click and just hold it down when I'm doing this. Now, I do also want to say, when you jump to an enemy teammate, you have to like re-press the button for your left click, because sometimes I just hold it down all game because I never stop wanting to punch, and I'll teleport to a teammate, and then sometimes it won't reactivate. Like if I do this here and I'm holding it down, it'll sometimes do it. It's very finicky, so you just want to make sure you're like on top of that as well. Also, there's like a certain, I've seen it sometimes where I can like, when you're mid-charge, you can dash to your teammate, and it'll cancel your charge punch. But I've seen sometimes if you're early enough in it, you can like continue jumping while also charging your punch. I've done it like maybe once or twice. I don't know the exact timing for it. Like that. I was charging it and I kept the animation. I don't think it actually helps. I don't think it actually like makes the punch come out faster, but it's still, I'm sure there's like some kind of tech you can do with that. He's actually very good at everything he does, which makes him very, very oppressive. So if you can understand exactly how to play him and when to be a frontline tank, when to be a backline menace, when to be an anti-dive peel tank, if you can get all of those in rotation into how to actually implement them into your games, that is how you're going to rank up on this character. Now, a lot of people, they say he's really good into like Wolverine and Bucky and characters that can pull because he doesn't get pulled. But honestly, if you're playing Thing, I would still ban these two guys. I would still ban Wolverine. I would still ban Bucky, because getting stunned in general sucks on Thing, because your damage is in very large. Your burst damage. You don't have a lot of time to be wasting on this character. So if you're getting pulled, if you're getting slammed on the ground, if you're getting like stunned with the hook, it really decreases the amount of value you can get and just leaves you as a big fucking brick. And you don't want that. So I would still ban those two characters, because Wolverine can still do a bunch of damage to you and you can't knock him off. And Bucky, you're still a brick, all right? He's going to hit headshots. He's going to kill you. You can't do anything against that. Honestly, the better matchups that he's really good into are Black Panther, are Spider-Man, is Magic. Like, the characters that he can just peel to his supports and make them not be able to play the game. Because even if you aren't the one killing the Magic, killing the Black Panther, you've still given your supports damage reduction. You've given them a fucking domain expansion in which the enemy can't jump and get away. You're giving your team you're giving them the toolbox, and you're asking them to build the shed. You know what I mean? For tank wise, he's really good with like Magneto, with Hulk, with Thor, characters that can enable him. Because for Hulk and Thor, he can, like, if they dash in, if they jump in, a Thing can just go in with them. He can E to them and give them the damage reduction, slam in, like do his slam, do a little domain expansion, and if things get sticky, they jump out, he turns around and E's out with them. Magneto, imagine giving this guy a fucking bubble. Like, he just walks to your team, slams the ground, and he also has a bubble. It's too gross. I've made Groot and Thing work, where you play around walls, you wall off a tank, you wall off a support, and you just punch them to death. Characters I say he doesn't really work well with, honestly, like flyers, he can't really do anything with like Iron Man, Storm, Johnny Storm. He can't do anything with those characters because he doesn't enable them. You really want to play, honestly, I don't even think he's bad with any of the tanks. He has really good synergies just because he can give them the damage reduction. I had a game today where I played, it was me and a Penny, and we're playing against Wolverine. Every time the Wolverine tried to grab my penny, I jump to her, give her the damage reduction, and slam the ground. What does Wolverine not be able to do? Get out. Because he gets stunned by webs. He got stunned by my domain expansion. I've given both of us damage reduction, so we just shot and punched him to death over and over again. This character really has like so many synergies with every single tank. It's insane. I say maybe the worst is Doctor Strange because he doesn't really give Doctor Strange anything other than the damage reduction. Like he doesn't. There's not a whole lot that these two characters like. You know what I mean? It's like out of every other synergy that he works with all the tanks, he's probably the worst because you can dive with him, you can dive with him, you can dive with him, you can dive with him. These two are really good at defending. You can just give them like an enormous amount of damage reduction so your team can build up. And this guy, he's really good at like walling off tanks, walling off just out of place enemies for this guy to slam and then punch and then whatever. It's just there's so many comps and so many situations where the thing is really good. You almost can't mess up with him. To get into his team ups, the two that you have are the cosmic fastball and then the invisible one. I'm not saying all those words. The fastball special, it's the same as Hulk's. You just throw Wolverine, except it's a little bit better because you can throw Wolverine and then immediately jump to him. I'll show it here. So if I have Wolverine here and I'm throwing him, I'm getting ready. We're getting ready for the fight to start. I throw him and then I E. We both go in at the same time, and now there's a Wolverine and a thing in your face, and they have damage reduction. That's fucking scary, right? Like that's terrifying. You can I know you can try and charge it to like later, and honestly, you can even use this to get on high ground. You throw him here, and like look at that. Look at the ground I just covered. Look at the fucking ground I just covered. Like that's insane. That's insane, and that's in the game. Like that's like on live patch. The second one is the more like defensive play style where you have Invisible Woman team up. Where's that? Now this just allows you to take more damage. The more damage you do, the more damage you take. I think you just get like the shields. Who's shooting? Why are you shooting now? The fuck? I think you get like a max of like 850 or 900. So I'm going to go down to 500 here. I pop my healing bubble thing. It heals up 100 shield. And I think if I continue to take damage, it'll just keep going up no matter what. This will recharge no matter what. Now what this does is it gives you 100 extra health on top of your Haymaker extra health. So now you have 150. You have 150 extra health. That's on like a 30-second cooldown. This just allows you to be more tanky in the front line. You pop this as you're going in. You just give yourself an extra 100 HP that continuously regenerates. This is like... This character has so much loaded in his kit, and I don't see like barely any people taking advantage of this. Honestly, out of the two team-ups, you're going to want the Invisible Woman one more because it just allows you to do a lot more things because you're able to stay alive a lot longer. Now imagine you have this extra health and you have this damage reduction and you're doing your haymakers and you're doing this. Like there's too many things that your character is doing that just allows you to be so oppressive in the game, and the enemy will not have a lot of time or a lot of like understanding to know what to do with you. There's a lot to this character, and I really wanted to talk about it. I'm gonna have this gameplay section next where I'm gonna go into more of like a VOD review kind of style. So if you want that, just watch the rest of the video. If not, thank you. And so right here, I'm just spamming my haymakers. That's all you got to do on this character. You just spam haymaker, spam haymaker. You look down a choke point, you look around a corner, and you just spam those out, and you build ultimate charge. Here again, I just spam haymaker. We get the walls up. I keep spamming it. I just don't care. We get the kill. I keep walking in, and then I just start spamming my haymakers. I just don't care. You punch these out. Look, I'm punching these bitches back. I get the Spider-Man. I didn't even know he was gonna be there. He wasn't even on my screen for like a full second, and I got him because I'm just spamming out haymakers. They can't fight back. Right here, I'm solo tanking, so I'm moving in to make all the space, but I hear the call out of the Spider-Man being on my supports, so I instantly turn around, I E to them. I hit about 2 haymakers on the Spider-Man, and I don't end up getting the kill, but my Namor is able to steal it from me, so we end up getting the pick on the Spider-Man, which allows us to take even more space once the Storm ult is done. Right here, I want to focus on how I'm positioning my enemies to get the maximum value out of all my punches. We walk in with this cloak and dagger ult, and I'm trying to line up the enemies into a straight line behind them so I can get the max amount of pierce damage on each punch, which allows me to build my ultimate even faster. This especially helps when they're only running one defensive support ult, so I can build mine as fast as possible so I can outcycle the enemy supports. Now in this fight, we ended up using our invisible woman ult on Cart, and for some reason that made the entire enemy team just cower in fear for some reason. So as I'm chasing them back, I realize that they're all backing up. So I'm looking for my ultimate. I'm looking for a good opportunity to get a couple in there. So I just back up. I try for going a little flank route to see if they were positioned differently. I notice the invisible woman is backing up. So I go ahead and charge through, and I find these two just sitting in a hallway. I go ahead and ult them. And while I only get the Atom and don't even get the kill on him, it was still long enough of a stun to where we're able to block off the door and just win the point for free. In this next clip, I wanted to show off how greedy you can be on the thing, especially on the front line, given the fact that you have a shift that gives you 200 overhealth and an E that gives you damage reduction and an almost instant teleportation. See, I'm just sitting in the front line and I'm punching the shit out of this Doctor Strange for as long as I can, knowing that I have my run, I have my E, and I have my both my healers up. So I understand that I can just kind of sit there and stay there as long as I want and really get greedy with how much health I have so I can get the maximum amount of value. Also, I just realized I totally glossed over his shift during my like explanation part of the video. You get 200 overhealth when you pop it. It also like when you stop, you leave like a little domain expansion where the enemy can't use movement abilities. It's like really good. And it's like the best part of his kit, and I don't know how I glossed over it. In this clip, I just want to show off how beneficial it is to just be spamming out your haymakers as much as possible. We were all having trouble hitting the Spider-Man, but luckily I can just throw out giant fucking buses from my hands, so it wasn't that hard to hit the Spider-Man. And just spamming out the ability, I get overhealth, I have a giant hitbox, it does a lot of damage. You just want to be spamming that as much as possible. Now, I hadn't mentioned it up until this point, but they had started to try and counterplay me throughout this entire game. Last round, they went Iron Man and Storm, but now they have Iron Man and Johnny Storm, and they're trying to just not have people in the air that I can't deal with. So I have to be as useful as possible on the enemy support since I know that their DPS are untargetable for me. I have no reason to worry about anything else other than the two people that I can punch. So I'm just making space. I'm sitting here on car. I'm just twirling on car here. This is actually a really stupid technique that honestly has a lot of effectiveness because as I keep going in circles, the hitbox keeps refreshing so I can keep farming damage off them. And I'm not the easiest thing to hit. I'm not the hardest thing to hit, but it's a little bit of a struggle to try and hit that target. Now at this point, it's looking like it's gonna be a final fight situation. So I send bro in with his cloak and dagger ult, and I jump to him, giving him the damage reduction. And we both go in. I'm just throwing out haymakers. I'm just farming ults. I'm just punching. We get the hella kill. We get another kill on their Sue Storm. So I just start running in. I go on the Mantis, so she has to deal with me. I'm just punching her. I'm just punching. I just don't give a fuck. And this is where I'm talking about getting your ult as fast as possible so you can outcycle the enemy supports. Right now, I have my ult, so I'm just going in. I'm just doing whatever the fuck I want, and I just throw in a random one right out of the rotation, and I instantly take out two, and we win the fight because I clean up with this strange kill, and they can't do anything else. Also, because I knew they had three flyers, I was really focused on just keeping the three people I could punch in my line of sight at all times, so I can always hit that optimal slam on the ground. And in this last fight, they ended up getting a strange portal on the point, and we traded ults back and forth for a while until finally we were able to secure some picks and win the game for us. If you learned anything from this video, let me know down in the comment section below and leave a like and subscribe on this video as it really does help me out a lot. And let me know if I missed anything down below. But with that all being said, thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed the video.